Hey guys, it's Mrs. Pitt here. The first day of Year 12 starts on the first day of early commencement. That first class in early commencement, the class you have just before your SAC and the class you have just before the exam, every single class is just as important as each other. Content is being taught in every single lesson and it's important that you are paying attention. Now, teachers are not unrealistic and we know that not everybody is paying attention 100% of the lesson. But at the end of the day, that is your responsibility to catch up. When you are sick, or when you are concentrating on another SAC, or when your mind is just not really in the classroom, it can be really overwhelming to catch up. This is the one year in your schooling that you don't have a warm-up. You don't have an opportunity to sort of begin work. You have to start working from the very moment that you step into those classrooms. You probably have high expectations on yourself, and I know that the teachers at Frankston High have high expectations as well. You're probably coming to a time where you're having a SAC every week, and some of you will be having SACs on the same day, and it can be really frustrating and really overwhelming because you just wonder how people expect you to get done all that you have on your plate in the time allocated. What I'm hoping to do today is to give you some strategies to manage your time. This will hopefully mean that Year 12 is manageable, you can minimize your stress, and you can feel that you are really achieving all that you set out to achieve at the start of the year, rather than starting to lower your expectations as the year continues. So this is just a little visual representation to illustrate to you how important it is to manage your time and also how important it is to manage your workload. Often when we have very little work or manageable amounts of work, we're quite excited to get it done. We know we have the potential to do it really well, and so our motivation is about here, and then it sort of peaks up here when we've got this manageable workload, and very quickly it can go down. So we get from being eager to excited because we think about the potential in terms of what we can achieve, and very quickly we turn to panic, where we feel like every single class is giving us all the same amount of work and we just don't have enough hours in the day, and panic very quickly turns to being overwhelmed. And that's where people start to make excuses. Or, I just won't do that study today, or I'll just get that homework done, or oh look, it's just too hard to go into work tonight because I really have to get this homework done. And you have to start making excuses about your time when really you could potentially be fitting everything in. So what's really important is that we stay at this peak here. So we keep our workload at a peak where we still feel enthusiastic and motivated to get it done. And the way to do that is to manage your time and to make sure that you are using your time effectively in order to get work done as it's being set, rather than leaving it to a week or 2 weeks later. I encourage people to map out their weeks. So I've just done it in 2-hour blocks, Monday to Friday, just to see how much time you actually have available to you. Now, you know that not all of this time is really your time, and there are things that you have to be doing or things that are mandated to you. So that's the first thing you need to fill in when you create a time management plan. So you can see that I've included my school time, I've included maybe basketball practice, music practice, and I've also included my part-time job. The next thing to be doing is including things that you want to be doing. So your indulgence type things. So things like socializing, maybe there's a TV show that you like to watch. Putting all of those things in means that you've got things in the week to look forward to and that your entire week is not mandated by study. So here you've got the things that you'd like to be doing, so that you're not missing out on that social party, or you're not missing out on your TV show or your exercise. And it is really important to have things that you look forward to. Now, I've shaded in all the available time that you have to study, and this is nearly 35 hours, guys. So the excuse that there's not enough hours in the day is just not true. What you need to then be doing is managing your time properly. So as you can see on Monday, you've got 4 to 6, then you've got basketball practice and probably dinner, so you're not really available until at least 7:30, and then you've got 7:30 till 10 o'clock that you could potentially be doing some study. So that's 4 to 5 hours of potential study time, not to mention the time that you were at school. You haven't missed out on your basketball, you haven't missed out on dinner with your family or dinner in front of the TV or whatever works for you, but you do have 4 solid hours that you could be using. What I would encourage you to do is, rather than sitting down at the desk for 2 hours with all your books open, I would write a little study list. So what is it that you want to get done in that 2 hours time? And I would be quite specific to the point that you are ticking things off. because sometimes it's nice to just complete something and feel like you've been productive. If you sit down with all your books and you don't really know where to start, you can often spend 30 minutes procrastinating and you don't really get started. So if you spend 5 minutes writing down all that you want to achieve and be realistic with yourself, once it's done, then if you finish early, then you feel less guilty to sit and watch that TV show or to call your friend up. So if I look at my plan for Monday in that 4 to 4.5 hour block, I've decided that when I get home from 4 to 5, I'm going to do my methods questions. So methods is something that I might find quite difficult, and it's something that is due relatively quickly. So I'm going to do it first, get it done, and that way I feel like my teachers are not going to be disappointed with me, and I'm still concentrating because I'm still quite awake at this point. Then from there, I think, oh, we did some work in English today, and I'd like to be able to consolidate that information. So I'll spend 30 minutes doing a couple of essay breakdowns so that I can really put that information I learned into class into an essay plan and make it quite practical. Then from there, I've got 30 minutes. My biology teacher didn't set me anything today, but I'll do a little bit of revision, a little bit of study, and I'll do a bit of a mind map on chapter 2. Then I'm going to go off to basketball, and then I'm going to come home and have some dinner. And I'm really not going to start anything again until 7:30. But at 7:30, I'm going to get back to my desk and I'm going to revise those French verbs. So we did that in class today. I found it really difficult. So I'm going to revise that. So I might either write some study cards or I might try and explain it to somebody at home. Then from 8 till 9, this is something that I really like to do. So Viscom is a subject that I really enjoy and I feel quite relaxed doing it. So I'm going to leave it to the end of the night because it's not a chore for me. It's something that I quite enjoy doing. And all the stuff that I really wasn't enjoying in terms of study, that's all done now, so I can spend that extra bit of time working on the subject that I quite like. By structuring your time, it means that you're able to fit in all the subjects in one night. So this is a night where I really didn't have as much time as the other nights, if you can remember. So this is quite a small night in terms of the available study to me, yet I've still tackled every single subject. I've not just done the homework that's been set, but I've done some study and revision as well. And there are other nights like Wednesday that I've actually got much more time. And that's how you minimize that stress and you keep your workload at a level where you're still eager and excited and enthusiastic and you haven't boiled over to panic and overwhelming. So just keep that in mind and think about how to structure your time to avoid stress as you continue on in year 12. Thanks, guys.